Good, beautiful Sunday morning, September, what is today? The 28th. Got a little breeze. Hopefully things are drying down more. We'll drive up back and take a look at the beans. But I think within the next 5-6 days we'll be starting beans. But I got this in here because I got to get the computer and stuff. That's under the towel right there. Put on the seat, take it down to my computer room, get that put in, make sure all that's working. And I don't want to drop that, so I'm going to turn you off and turn you back on when we get down there, because that's a very expensive thing to drop and not good. All right, before I get the computer out of the gator, bring it in, I had this tester already out here. I brought this one out. Got to turn it on. And get my little 500 gram, see, 500 grams weight out. Need to zero it. And it'll be like 299.6 or 499.5. Yep. It's always been off that like 0.5, but that still means it's the fact that it's 499.5 and this is supposed to be a 500 gram. Yeah, that's one of those things where you call when you're that close. Good enough. All right, now I gotta get all this crap out of the way so I can bring in the computer. All right, move this just a little. Man. All right, I got it in, got it plugged in, got my wires plugged in. Go out to the, I don't think you can't see it yet, the control panel out there. Well, while that's warming up, I'll show you. And this time I remember to actually turn the breaker on for the dryer, because normally I don't. So in other words, all my wires that are in there come out here underground, come over here. You can see the small one right there. But normally I turn it on, I go, why doesn't it work? Yeah, turn the breaker on, because you turn it off. All right, no, I'm not starting the dryer, because that's not a good thing to start an empty dryer. So, and I will go over all of this when we start. But what I am doing is I am going to get things changed to beans. And yes, it takes me a few minutes to remember everything every year. Moisture control, there we go. Grain type, corn. Do you really want to switch grains? Yes, I do. Soybeans, okay. Dry moisture 13. Manual, no. We're going to want it on auto. Moisture limits, I'm not going to worry about for right now, but they are set where I want them. So we are on soybeans, so okay for that. I need to go to, not that, that's where I cleared the history last year. Bin report, make sure they're cleared. They are. All right. Bin 3 will be the bean bin. Okay, get out of that one, get out of that one. Make sure all my limits are set the same as what they normally are. Drying temperature limit for beans 160, yep. Which generally it's not even that. The dryer itself adjusts. Those numbers are right. Okay. No, I don't want to start, so let's see. Oh, bee, get out, bee, get out, bee. Time to close the door. We don't need a bee in here. Alright, this is set on bin 2. I want it on bin 3. Okay. So it says soybeans. So yeah, we should be ready for when we start soybeans. So, and like I said, I'll explain all this to everybody as we do it. Like when all this is on, this tester does it all on its own. This one you have to measure. That's what this little cup is for. You measure, you put a certain amount on there, which is 250 grams. And you pour it in here, and it's just like I said, I don't have anything to actually show it to you right now. So I will do it when I actually start. So now we're going to talk about corporate farming pretty soon. Oh yeah, I forgot the one thing I didn't do. Check my heater. I got to plug it in. And this is set to a certain temperature, but I'm going to turn it up to make sure it kicks on, which it didn't. So that tells me I may have to go check and see if that, ooh, squeaky door, see if that breaker is off, because you don't want your computer getting cold. Not that I'm going to show you, not that our temperatures, yes, the mercury light and the heater are both off. I don't need to waste electricity yet for that mercury light or the one out back, so I'm not going to turn those on just yet. No, we don't need to turn those on. Our genie gets enough of our money every month. Alright, let's see if this works now. There we go. Little space heater's pumping heat. Let's turn it back down to about where it was. The purpose of that is, and we don't have any, there is some 40s coming, but the purpose of that is you don't want that getting super cold. That gets super cold, not a good program. So that's why you put the heater in here, set it to a certain temperature. When it gets to that temperature, she kicks on, keeps that computer warm. Alright, so like I said, it's Sunday. Barb just got home from church. I thought I'd drive up back and look, and as you can tell from a couple, 2 or 3 videos ago, the beans have turned dramatically. I'm thinking middle to end of next week we will be doing beans. So I'm not going to bother to have her come out today, being a Sunday. Tomorrow we'll start getting the wet bin auger up and all that stuff, and I'll hold on to this and film some of that. But yeah, we're almost there. So I wanted to show you down here on the cluster field that was very wet, and I didn't want to, add this 7 acres into prevent plant, so we put in some late corn here on June 8th on half of it, and late beans on the other half of it on June 8th. So these are my last beans planted. And don't quote me, I don't have my book with me, but I think they're group 1.6. Those are turning extremely hard, being the last beans that we planted. And when I get back to the shop, I'll show you what our 10-day forecast looks like. So we will definitely be doing beans, but you can also see how damn green the corn still is. Yeah. I mean, corn is going to be late around here. Beans will definitely come out before corn. I mean, most of the dairy farms have just started chopping here. Like I said, it's the 27th of September, so generally they're chopping before now. Alright, I misspoke in the last one. It's the 28th of September, not the 27th. But so I'm sitting on the gator. One of you came up with a good one. Call it gator tails. Whatever. Sounds good. But here's our 75 today, 78 tomorrow, 75. Couple chilly days, but look, right back towards next weekend, into the first of next week, right back into the upper 70s, near 80, and no rain in sight. And our normal temperature right now today is only supposed to be like 67, so by then it'll probably be 65 or below. But anyways, pretty sure that I decided that the name of this video was, what is corporate farming? Because in the last video I had somebody, one of the haters that hates us farmers. We don't need you smaller farms. We don't need, the corporate farms can feed America. It's funny, and then I get the ones that bitch about corporate farming. So what is corporate farming? I mean, I'm going to use Andy Horrigan, Farming, Fixing, and Fabricating as an example. There's if any of you watch it, a fairly large family farm coming down generation to generation. Now it's like Andy and his brother, and then there's Andy's kids. I don't know if his brother has kids. I mean, so as a farm gets more people involved, they need to get bigger. And don't quote me on numbers, because I'm not saying these are his numbers. I'm just using it as an example. When more generations come in, you might have to go from 2,000 head of cattle to 4,000, whether you're a beef farm, dairy farm, which means you need more land. So as farms around you that are retiring or something that don't have another generation coming in, you buy those farms up. Is that corporate farming? According to some of you? I mean, I'm confused. What is corporate farming? I look at Purdue Farms. You've all heard of Purdue Farms, Purdue Chicken, all that stuff. Is that a corporate farm? I mean, technically it's a family farm, just like Andy Horrigan's is a family farm, just like this has always been a family farm. I'm the last part of the family because Chelsea isn't interested in farming, but then it becomes somebody else's family farm. They incorporate it into their family farm. But if you want to call Purdue Farms a corporate farm because they also own Purdue Agribusiness and the Purdue, plant that processes chicken, turkeys, pork, all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's probably the closest thing to a corporate farm. I mean, we deal with corporations that own the, fertilizer companies and the chemical companies and all of that. But how many of them are actually farming? None that I know of. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but it amazes me the amount of people that hate farmers today. And I get it, because part of it is the whole, you get your subsidies. Like, we get them every day or every year even. Other than the one that was passed, like I've said in videos before, last year under Biden, that got paid out this year back in whatever it was. I don't even remember, March, something like that. There was nothing for the previous 5 years, 6 years, whatever, till you go back to Trump's first term when he did one while he was doing the whole trade agreement with China. Hate us for it, whatever. I mean, I've explained the whole 10% of your, expendable money on your groceries and all that. But as far as the government subsidies go, you got the Bill Gates of the world, the baby Bush, Georgie Jr., Ted Turner, all these people that own thousands and tens of thousands of acres of farmland that get government subsidies. They've never put their hand in the dirt. You got foreign countries that own agriculture land here that sign up for government programs. They get government subsidies. Meanwhile, those of you who hate us farmers who are actually trying to make a living doing this, it's okay for you to get your government subsidy, because that's what it is, rebate to buy a electric car or solar panels for your home or your business or windmills or all that. That's okay, right? Because you're saving the planet. Yep, we're killing the planet. Yeah, whatever. I just laugh now when you people come in, and I thank you for helping push the algorithm. That just pisses you off more, and you keep making more comments and come back and watch more views and all that. So hey, you're doing good. Thank you. But yeah, what is corporate agriculture? What is corporate farming? What is a corporate farmer for you geniuses in the last few videos that have come in and made those statements that, oh, it's corporate farming. They'll feed the world and feed this country. We don't need you. And then in the next breath, I'll get a different one of you haters that hates the corporate farming. We need to go back to the 1940s and 50s where everybody owned about that right there. That's it. and had their white picket fence out for around their pasture, and had their 3 cows that they milked by hand and a couple of beef cows and all that, you know. It looked beautiful in pictures, but it's not 2025. So, and the last thing I'm going to say about that, how much people hate farmers, is yesterday, Barb was on Facebook, and she's showing me this post where this person is following a combine down the road, and on their phone making this post showing this combine, bitching about how that should be illegal for a farmer to go down the road with a big piece of equipment. They should have to trailer it from field to field. I mean, seriously? Oh, and then what? Stop in the middle of the road to untrailer it? You know, get it off the trailer and whatnot? And you think it's going to be that much faster with them trailering it? You think the wires aren't going to be an issue when you have to put it on a trailer? But yeah, that should be illegal for farmers to go down the road. I mean, because why do we need, oh, the person made a comment about, well, equipment wasn't this big, 50, 60 years ago. Why has it got to be so big today? Yep. And I'm sure every industry out there is still producing whatever they produce with the same equipment at the same, level of intensity and whatnot that they were 50, 60 years ago, right? I mean, and to be honest, 50 years ago, combines weren't a whole lot smaller than that one right there. I mean, yes, they were smaller, but not a whole lot. And I'm sorry that that'll only go 20 miles an hour. I mean, that tractor right there will go 36, but you ever get in a tractor towing something and go over 30 miles an hour? It's a little hairy, I'm just going to tell you. And those roads haven't got any wider in the last 50 years. And for the ones that say, well, you need to pull over and let everybody by, where would you like us to pull over to? Pull over in a ditch? Pull over and run the crop over? Pull over in somebody's yard and, I don't know, drive on their lawn? Yeah, they'll be happy with that. 50, 60 years ago, there was more people who were, I don't know, somehow or another related in a sense to agriculture. They had family members that were in it. They lived out in it. Now you get city people that come out to the country and, go 100 miles an hour down the back roads because they can't figure out they need to get up 20 minutes earlier now to get back to the city to their job, but whatever. And then get pissed off when they get stuck behind a piece of agriculture equipment. But I don't know, just imagine, would those corporate farmers have even bigger equipment that they'd have to go down the road with? I'm just saying. All right. Tomorrow, there's your gator tails. I like that one, gator tails. Tomorrow, we'll probably film just a little more of getting some other shit ready. All right, good Monday morning. We're setting up the wet bin auger. I know I've showed this in previous years, but we did this to all of our augers, or this one. And I think we did it to that one. I don't remember. Welded a bolt on so that you don't have to sit here and crank, but you want to make sure nobody's standing there while it's happening. Here, Barb, I'll let you hold the camera and show them how nobody wants to be standing next to the crank while it's turning.
Well, we need to take that bottom piece off too. You're just gonna wait.
Well, it'll slide a little easier with that.
True.
Now, we get up higher. push. I'm not even sure if you were actually.
I don't know what I was doing.
All right, the auger is set up. Getting rid of some weeds here. And then we got to go out back and get the other one ready. Where we just finished taking the last of the beans out yesterday, or not yesterday, last week. Fun. We get to clean this one out, pull it out, clean it off, grease it up, and put it back in. Is about what it amounts to.
Not fun.
Yeah, fun. And probably get a new tarp because that one looks rough. We're gonna have to pull it out and see how rough it actually is. All right, she's going with the gator. We're gonna wait a few days to put this in. Let this air dry off. And we just took 4 or 5 5-gallon pails of water and splashed the shit out of the end here. Let it sit here in the sun for a few days. What little bit scummy shit might be left will get dried up, flake off. So yeah, because I'd have to try and get it out of here, take it across the road to pressure wash it. No, not doing it. So I'll grease that. I already greased the other one, the end here and the PTO shaft. I'll grease that before we put it back under there. But yeah, we need a new tarp. We rolled the tarp out and the tarp was pretty holy. It was a Sunday tarp. All right, so here's your one more thing, because it's after lunchtime, so I need to go eat lunch. Push on the Grumpy Farmer apparel link, get your Grumpy Farmer apparel. Obviously you just saw we got the wet bin auger up. Obviously we didn't bother closing the top because it could be a week and a half, 2 weeks before we see any rain. I gotta grease the dryer still. And the wet bin auger that goes up to the dryer. I gotta get the battery hooked up on the Freightliner, because those of you who've been here know that truck's got a slow draw and we don't know where it is. So I just unhook the batteries every fall when we're done and hook them back up when we need it again, and it works fine. So I got to get the trucks out, make sure they're ready to go. Like I said, it's Monday the 29th, right? Yes. I'm thinking by Friday. I mean, it's freaking hot today. We're both sweating. It's supposed to cool off the middle of the week for a couple days in the 60s. And then they actually showed, here, let me pull my phone out, because this is so weird for this time of year for us here in the Northeast. They showed, like, this weekend and the first of next week, 80s. I mean, our normal high right now is like low to mid 60s. Yeah, I mean, look at this crazy stuff. Saturday 80, Sunday 83, Monday 83, Tuesday, oh, they show a 30% chance of rain Tuesday, which means it won't. But yeah, that's not normal for this time of year. So probably the next video, maybe, will be combining soybeans. See you then. Here's a quick second more thing. I don't know if you can read it, because I got a notification that I had a comment on the last video. But this crinkle cut, I agree with Trump. Screw the farmers. Which Trump, you know, is talking about giving another subsidy. So I don't know how you agree with him there. And he's saying screw the farmers. But we got bigger problems to deal with. If we have to corporatize all of agriculture, then so be it. The corpse will be cheaper and higher quality if we do. And of course, my reply was, do you have a clue what you were talking about? So that goes along with the title of this video. I mean, I get both. I get the, oh, farming's gotten to be corporate farming. That's horrible. And then I get the retards that we need to corporatize farming. What is a corporate farm? Really?